The corner of Taylor and Mount Vernon is probably one of the most interesting buildings that everyone asks about. It's large and it's green and it's boarded up. And it is exaggerated perhaps in its height because there's so much behind it to the west that's been lost that it really stands there as this landmark, and it's so prominent on the corner of it. It's had so many businesses in it. It's kind of like the genealogy of a thoroughbred racehorse. But from the best we can figure out, it's a 1920s landmark. And for the people who remember it, the one thing they will remember about it is that it was a drugstore. It was a drugstore. There was a drugstore in it for a very long time, but the drugstore they remember was one called Lemon's No. 1 Drugstore. And I don't know if it's part of that idea of a pharmacy when there used to be an actual drug counter where you get fountain drinks along with it. But in addition to being owned by someone whose last name was Lemons, who lived on Broadley Avenue, not necessarily in the immediate neighborhood, it was the lemon lime sodas that people remember. People still talk about them today. 40 years later, they'd say, oh my God, that was the best lemon lime soda I ever had. Today, we would call them Italian sodas. And that corner should have a marker for the lemon lime soda. But part of the building was also Ben Golden's barbershop. And he must have put his barbershop in there sometime in the late 20s, and it lasted for another 30 years in the corner. So it was very well known. And then in the back of the building was a Acura oil measure company, which was like a company that sold petroleum products. Upstairs there were residences and an always changing number of people who were solidly working class who lived up there, sometimes pensioners, sometimes small families. It was a very thriving working class corner and a really rare reminder of an urban landscape that is still there.